We're not gonna care about what our hair and makeup looks like. Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. How's everybody doing? My name is Tessa and thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video, this is kind of like a get to know me on a different level, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a backstory, but I'm not gonna get too much into it. A few months ago, I shared a picture that started getting reposted a lot. I kind of wanted to set the record straight and make sure that the story was clear, and by me doing that, I definitely opened up myself to mean, harsh comments and just so much stuff, but I did it because I knew that the purpose and the message was gonna be so much greater that I just didn't care. When I was 11 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer, osteosarcoma, and I had it in my right femur bone, which is kind of like your thigh bone. The answer for me, for the best quality of life that I can give myself and for my future self, was to get my leg amputated. So that's what I did. I spent like a grueling amount of time in the hospital, underwent crazy aggressive chemotherapy to stop it and make sure that the cancer wouldn't come back. And I'm here today, 17 years later, you guys. I'm cancer free. I have a beautiful family, but as far as the picture is concerned that's been getting reposted, I have gotten thousands of questions and it's really hard to answer back to every single one of them. I feel like it's almost easier if I just do it in a video format, and then that way everybody can kind of get the answer. And I feel like this is kind of cool too, because you guys can get to know me on another level and we can communicate this way. I have a website. I write a couple blogs every now and then because I love expressing myself and I love writing, but I've always wanted to kind of record my journey. At the end of the day, this is really kind of like a digital diary for me that I want to keep, that I can have forever and look back on. I'm gonna just answer a few questions that I get asked really frequently, whether it be my prosthesis or experience with having the cancer. But like I said, I was 11 years old and I'm 29 years old now, so it's been about 17-18 years since all of this happened. And yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna try to put a few questions like into one. A lot of people just ask about my leg in general. Does it hurt when I walk? No, it doesn't hurt. I'm so used to it now, you guys. Like I said, it's been almost 20 years since this has happened, so I'm just used to it. Do I push myself sometimes and I tend to get in pain? Of course, but it's just me and my personality, and yeah, I push myself. I shouldn't sometimes, because it's like cause and effect thing. You know, if I push too hard, then maybe the next day I'm not really too mobile. I'm not able to, you know, walk greater lengths or do certain activities. How do I walk with a limp? Yes, and I feel like it's expected. So go to my last Instagram post if you want to see how I walk. It's very fascinating to some people. Anyway, next question is, okay, this one's really funny. I got a lot of questions about my hair. I don't know why, but people are very interested in my hair. And I think they're interested is because the picture that has been getting reposted is so funny. This is the picture. It was actually taken when I already started my chemotherapy, so I already started losing my hair. A lot of questions were, how did I grow my hair back? Some people thought like I actually like wear a wig now. I was undergoing chemotherapy and I was losing my hair and it was falling out. I was told so many times, just cut your hair, it's gonna fall out. I didn't care. I would just wake up with clumps of hair on my pillow. Any hair that I did have left, I kept wanting to put it in a ponytail, which sounds ridiculous to me now, but at the time it was really important. That's why my hair looks the way it does in the picture, because I just always wanted to put it up and kind of make myself feel somewhat normal while I was going through the stages of losing it. But to answer everybody's question, as far as that's concerned, this is, but like that's my hair. And now it's all messed up. So no, I don't wear a wig. Some people were like asking for like tips and recommendations. I'm sorry, I don't really have anything to really say about that because I didn't do anything. I was just fortunate enough that when I stopped my chemotherapy, my hair grew back. I know that there's like some stuff on the market. Just consult your doctor and see what they say or what they would recommend before you try anything else. And I like to put my clip-ins, my extensions sometimes, but as far as like me growing my hair back, I grew all my hair back and I'm so thankful for that. Another question that I would get a lot about would be any accomplishments that I want to achieve. The answer to that question is yes. There's so many things that I want to accomplish. One of my main things though that I would say on why I'm even so open to doing all of what I've done so far, I just want to make an impact on talking to other children, especially because I was a child when I went through it, and just giving people hope. I remember when I was 11 years old and going through it, we didn't have social media. There wasn't a way to like communicate with people or to find people like me. You see other kids in the hospital, but they're sick too, and they're going through what they're going through, and we're not bothering each other. There was a couple incidences where I got to meet two girls who both had a leg amputation, and I was very, very thankful for that because it definitely opened my eyes to just seeing the possibility, some sort of knowing that it's gonna be okay. That was very impactful and it meant a lot for me. So I feel like that I want to do that as well. There was no, oh, let me jump on, you know, Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and try to find somebody like me who's going through this. It was kind of just whoever I met along the way, and I had to take it from them, and obviously everybody's journey is different. I really want to go around and just to be there for other children, and even now that I'm a grown woman, like even being able to do that for adults is still such an impactful thing, because I remember even in my later teenage years still meeting people through fittings that I would have with my prostheses, with my see, you guys, I don't even know how to say these words, okay? But anyway, I love talking to people because I feel like it's very different when you don't have anybody to relate to. And it's definitely meaningful, don't get me wrong, that you have your family and your friends there to kind of uplift you and be there to speak with. It means something different when you have somebody that has actually gone through the same thing that you've gone through, and just somebody to talk to. This kind of goes into the next topic about like depression and everything. That was going to be my last topic that I was really going to touch base on. It just means so much that when you have somebody to be able to just communicate with, you know, you don't need to have the right answers, you don't need to answer specific questions, but just being able to vent to somebody who has gone through something like you have gone through means the world. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to provide that to other people. Of course, I have many accomplishments that aren't about that, whether it be like family, career-wise. Regarding to the specific topics, I think it's so important. I would love to work with brands who really truly stand for authenticity. I feel like a lot of brands claim that and they don't. That's definitely a big one too. Fun fact, I'm addicted to chapstick, like addicted. I have chapstick everywhere. My next topic, which is about depression. I get so many messages from people sharing their stories personally, whether it be them, parents, spouses, family members, friends. And I have to say that it means so much to me that people even feel compelled to be able to share their stories with me. They're so impactful and they're so inspiring to me. I try to let people know that when I communicate back with them. I so appreciate that they even want to take the time to be able to let me know like what they're going through, and that they feel that whatever I have to say is meaningful to them and impactful to them. And when I first started all of this a few months ago, I said to myself, if I can just make an impact for one person, just one, then I will have served a purpose, because we all need somebody and we all need to feel like we can relate to somebody in this world. We all want to feel like that there's somebody out there like us, meaning that people have gone through similar things that we've gone through. And like I said, I didn't really have that platform to feel that way when I was going through what I went through. So to be able to read these messages from people and they feel like that they're not alone now, it really means a lot to me. I get goosies. So I do get a lot of questions asking about if I was depressed and what I did. I don't want to insinuate that I know the answer. Everybody is different. Everybody goes through a different experience, the way they deal with depressions. I am no doctor. I am not going to sit here and diagnose people when they message me. I've come to a conclusion that the best way that I'm going to handle this type of topic is to let people know the way that I dealt with it and share my experience with it in hopes that it can, even one little bit of information from it can shed some light and kind of steer them in the right direction of what they're hoping to get out of it. So a couple things that I would say regarding depression is, yes, I did have it. It's such an interesting topic for me to talk about because I never really talk about it. When I was going through it at 11, I was in the hospital for like 9 straight months. I was lucky if I was able to go home, if I got to see my family, if I got to do any activities, because that really wasn't the case for me. I got my treatments on a Monday. I was done my treatments by Wednesday. From like Wednesday night to like Saturday, it was literally making sure bags of IV fluids to like flush my body, like my whole system, to get all the chemo out of my body. And I wasn't allowed to go home until I was cleared of the chemo. Your immune system is so suppressed and so compromised. But yeah, I was lucky if I was able to go home on a Saturday night. I would say 95% of the time that didn't happen. It would kind of be like a Sunday, I would be released, and then right back again Monday, start another treatment over again. And like I said, this was like for a good straight 9 months. It was a ton and it was draining. I feel like when you go through something like that, when it's so repetitive, I know for me personally, I blocked a lot out. There are some things and some stories like my mom would tell me and I would be like, what? Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I don't even remember that. At 11 years old, I didn't know what cancer was. I didn't know it was like this traumatic, life-threatening thing. Obviously, I got to see the side effects from it, and I saw how I went from having hair to no hair. I saw central line ports, you know, sticking out for me for medication. How I went from like 50-something pounds down to 30-something pounds in like 2 months, and I was nothing. Like, I was wasting away, and I had, what are they called? A feeding tube placed in my stomach because I couldn't keep food down because of the chemotherapy. It was so aggressive that it was making me so sick, and I was throwing up blood, and it was just so stinking traumatic that ugh, my god, it's just horrible to even think about all of that. And then from going to having 2 legs to having 1 leg, and it's just so crazy. And I feel like you just tend to block so many things out. But when I got to the point where January came around, and that was my remission, was sent home, and I had a lot of therapy, physical therapy, to learn how to walk again. My mom kept me out of school for the remainder of that school year. That was kind of like my transition period. But then my mom decided that she wanted to move. I was a different school. I had to make all new friends. So I started my 6th grade middle school year with nobody I know, 1 leg. Just the whole experience was just like, ugh, so traumatic. You guys can only imagine. So all of that was, I would say, the start of like the depression for me. I made a really great group of girlfriends. That wasn't really like the issue. Did I experience being made fun of? Sure, of course. But I think that the bulk of the depression was just like, you're coming from such a place of so much happening to you, and then to kind of like be coming off of it, but you're still experiencing things and experience the most normal life that you can possibly have now as a changed person. And for me, that was really, really difficult. It was probably a combination of things. And I remember my mom was recommended to kind of have me see a therapist and meeting with somebody a couple of times, but I didn't stick with it. I just remember for a good chunk of my teenage years was really just about finding myself. That was another big thing, like learning to accept yourself now as this changed person. For me, like I said, I'm only just gonna give my experience. I would make things up all the time to not have to go to school. I would, of course, always use my leg as an excuse because I just didn't want to be there, and I was just so depressed. And I had a lot of interest as a child, and I kind of like went towards those things as like my outlet. So for instance, I loved hair and makeup. I was a very girly girl, and I had older sisters, and I would just play with their makeup and I would watch them, and I was so into music. That was another outlet for me. I was just raised on really, really good music. My parents would have music playing all of the time, and my dad actually taught me how to play the guitar it's unfortunate, but I got sick and I just stopped playing, and I was getting really good at it, and I really wish now looking back I would have stuck with it. But I know a couple chords here and there, like a song or so. But yeah, so that's another fun fact. Music was like a really big thing for me. I was so passionate about singing. Singing to me was everything. I had karaoke machines and I would just listen. I would have my little CD player with like my headphones, and I would pretend like I was them and I would sing as if I was them. And I would kind of just like teach myself. It was like a really cool outlet for me though, because till this day, music is my passion, and I love singing, and if I'm having a bad day, it makes me happy, and I feel like music speaks to my soul, and there's a song for everything that you're going through. I just looked for outlets that just made me happy, and I kind of just like secluded myself. But to be honest with you guys, the best way, or the way that I dealt with my depression, was honestly, I just dealt with it. There was no big secret. I kind of just went through the motions, and the only thing that I really can stress is that if you are going through something and you feel like you don't know where to turn or who to turn to, or you feel like you don't have somebody to talk to, that's completely not the case. Like, you can talk to somebody. I just wish that I would have did things differently, because I feel like maybe I would have went through less of that time of being depressed if I would have been more outspoken with it. But you know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm a firm believer of that. Going through what I went through has made me the person that I am today, and I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing right now unless I had gone through the experiences. I just really firmly believe in speaking up and speaking to somebody and letting people know that you're hurt and you're not okay, and trying to figure it out together collectively, whether it's a parent, your family, your friends, but figuring it out what to do and how to handle it. Thoughts are the most powerful thing that we have, and you just don't want that to start taking over. Because our thoughts are so powerful, we can control it. Even now, you guys, like in my 20s, listen, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even like a couple years ago, I am not the same person that I was then, as far as confidence and everything like that, because I was still so hung up on the fact that I just didn't want people staring at me and staring at my leg, asking questions. And I just feel like, you know, people can just get so ridiculous with the questions that they ask. But I can't even tell you guys, like, that was just last year. Over the course of the year, I've just gotten into such a mental space where I just don't care. I'm just so proud of who I am, and I had the strength and the mind to overcome, and I'm just so grateful for that. I've just gotten to a place where I've just now accepted myself. But I just stress that because I want to say, again, I'm 29 years old, and that's taking me 17 years to even feel this way about myself. If you guys aren't at that point yet, it's okay. Give it time. It's gonna take time, but I promise you, you are gonna come out so strong, so confident, and you're gonna look back, as I do, and be like, I can't even believe like I cared about half of the stuff that I even like remember caring about. It's taken me up to this point now in my life where I can genuinely sit here and say I'm just proud of myself. I still do things to kind of like give myself a little jump start, and we all have bad days. It's inevitable. We're human. We're gonna go through life. I might be irked some days that I'm getting asked a million times, why do I walk the way I do? Or walking around in shorts in the summer. I might get even more stares than I have from ever before. But my whole purpose, like I said, was if I can just inspire and help one person, then this is all worth it to me. If me wearing shorts sparks a conversation with somebody, and then them feeling like they want to communicate their story or their experience, whatever the case may be, then it's definitely worth it to me. And I am continuing to grow as a person, and I totally believe in affirmations. I believe in like self-help books. I don't know if you guys can see right here. This is a board. I'll take it down real quick. So this is a board of positive affirmations that I read to myself every single day, And I'm just a believer in just the power of thinking and putting your thoughts out there into the universe, you know, just thinking positive and feeling that when you do those types of things that it's going to come back to you tenfold and you're going to get a response from it. I've always been one of those people where it's like, oh, that's a sign and this means something, and I just feel like the more I keep putting out positivity, the more it's really going to affect and be positive and change people. So if it is something where whatever you're going through in life where you just feel like you need a little like uplifting thing, I definitely recommend doing like a positive affirmation. If you guys have never heard or have heard but have never seen or read the book The Secret, I heard about that in high school. That was kind of like my journey, I guess you can say, or my start to the whole like positive thinking and the affirmations. They have a movie on it and the book, and I just feel like that is such a life-changing thing. That's pretty much it, you guys. I hope that was insightful for you guys. I hope it was powerful, meaningful, and that it definitely affects some of you on any level. And if you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments down below, or head over to my Instagram and direct message me. I try to get back to every single person as quickly as I can. If you guys want to see more videos like this, I have a few ideas. Maybe I can do kind of like a series. I feel like a lot of people are so curious. How is it like having a prosthetic leg, and how is your life different, and are your activities different, you being a mom different? And I would love to share that if that's something that you guys would be interested in. This is kind of just becoming my digital diary, and I go through so many things that I've always wanted to just record to have as like a keepsake. So you guys will definitely be seeing more of that. I'm definitely gonna do some vlogging. But anyway, I enjoyed doing this for you guys, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed it too. If there's anything that you guys want to see in particular, definitely leave it in the comments below. Go to my Instagram, message me. Give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe, because I think that's what people say, because I'm new to this. So, you know, you guys gotta help me out. I so look forward to sharing more with you all, beautiful people, and so I think that's it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You guys can be notified when I drop more videos. Okay. That's all for tonight. Peace.